Welcome to Rise Within Channel. I'm glad you're here. What you're about to hear is not just content, it's a conversation and life lesson. One that I hope meets you exactly where you are and leaves you somewhere better. Let's begin. Episode 9, the moment before the breakthrough always feels like failure. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." But I want to add something to that, something that nobody talks about enough. The moment before the breakthrough does not feel like the moment before the breakthrough. It feels like the confirmation of your worst fears, like evidence that you were right to doubt yourself, like the universe's final, definitive verdict that you were not meant for this. And it is precisely in that moment, when everything inside you is screaming to stop, that the people who ultimately succeed make the choice that separates them from everyone else. They don't stop, but let's slow that down for a second, because this moment, this exact moment, is quieter than people expect. It doesn't come with dramatic music or a clear sign. It doesn't announce itself as the final test. Instead, it feels ordinary, heavy, confusing. It feels like waking up without motivation, like questioning everything you once believed in, like looking at your own dream and thinking, *, maybe this isn't for me after all. And that is why so many people walk away, not because they are weak, but because the moment disguises itself so well. Part 1. The darkest hour. There is a phenomenon that practitioners of almost every discipline recognize, the point just before mastery where everything seems to fall apart. Athletes call it hitting the wall. Entrepreneurs call it the valley of death. Musicians call it the plateau. Therapists call it the regression before integration. Whatever the name, the phenomenon is the same. You have been working, consistently, sincerely, with genuine effort. And then, at a certain point, it stops working. Your progress stalls. Your results get worse instead of better. The gap between where you are and where you want to be feels wider than when you started. This is the moment most people quit, and it is the worst possible moment to do so because it is also, in almost every case, the moment just before the breakthrough. Let me paint this in a way you can feel. Imagine you are digging through rock with your bare hands. Day after day, nothing changes. Your hands are tired. Your energy is fading. There is no sign that anything is beneath the surface. And then a thought appears, *, what if there is nothing here? *, that thought is powerful because it sounds logical. It sounds protective. It sounds like wisdom, but sometimes it is the final barrier. There is an old story about a miner who spent years searching for gold. He dug and dug until one day he gave up, convinced the land held nothing. He sold his equipment to another man, who continued digging just a few feet further, and struck gold. The distance between failure and success in that story was not talent. It was not intelligence. It was not luck. It was *, persistence for just a little longer. *, Part 2. Why this happens when you are learning a new skill, whether it is a physical skill like running or a cognitive skill like business strategy, your brain goes through distinct phases of adaptation. In the early phases, progress is visible and rewarding. You can feel yourself improving. The feedback is clear. But at a certain point, you enter what researchers call the dark zone of skill acquisition, a period where the old patterns are being dismantled and the new, more sophisticated patterns have not yet been fully integrated. During this phase, performance temporarily degrades. You feel worse than you did before. This is not failure. This is neurological construction. The scaffolding has to come down before the finished structure can be seen. Think of it like this. An ice cube sitting in a room slowly warms from -5 degrees to -1 degrees. Nothing changes. It still looks like ice. If you judged progress only by what you could see, you would say, *, nothing is happening. But at 0 degrees, everything changes. The transformation was not just at 0. It was happening the entire time. Your life works the same way. There are seasons where effort is visible, and there are seasons where effort is invisible. And the invisible seasons are the ones that test you the most, because they require belief without evidence, discipline without reward, Commitment without reassurance, and most people are not trained for that, but the ones who grow learn to stay. Part 3. The Stories of Staying J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter manuscript while severely depressed, freshly divorced, unemployed, and on welfare. She submitted the manuscript to 12 publishers. All 12 rejected it. The 13th, a small publishing house, persuaded by the chairman's young daughter who had read the first chapter, said yes. If she had stopped at rejection 12, one step from yes, the wizarding world would not exist. Now imagine her mindset at rejection number 11. Do you think she felt close to success, or closer to giving up? Walt Disney was fired from his first newspaper job for lacking imagination and having no good ideas. His first animation studio went bankrupt. His most famous character, Mickey Mouse, was originally rejected by distributors. The theme park concept was turned down by the city of Anaheim. Over and over again, the message he received was the same, asterisk, this isn't going to work. Asterisk, but he stayed. And here is something important to understand. The world often tests your belief before it rewards your effort. Not because it is against you, but because it is shaping you into someone who can handle what you are asking for. Because the breakthrough is not just about getting something. It is about becoming someone. Part 4, the inner battle. What makes this moment so difficult is not the external struggle. It is the internal conversation. The voice that says, asterisk, you tried, it's enough. Asterisk, asterisk, maybe this isn't your path. Asterisk, asterisk, look at the results, they don't lie. Asterisk, but here's the truth. Results don't always tell the full story, because they only show what is visible, not what is building beneath the surface. There are changes happening inside you right now that you cannot measure. Your resilience is growing. Your discipline is strengthening. Your capacity is expanding. And these are the exact qualities that your future success will require. So when you feel like you are losing, you might actually be preparing. We are going to the closing. If you are in a hard place right now, if you are at the point where everything you have been building seems to be falling apart, where the gap between your effort and your results feels unbearable, where the voice that says this isn't working has become very loud, pause, take a breath, and recognize this moment for what it is, a threshold, not an ending, a decision point, not a failure. I want you to hear this clearly. This feeling is not evidence that you are failing. It is evidence that you are close. The moment before the breakthrough always feels like failure. Always. That is what makes it the hardest moment and the most important one. So stay. Stay when it's unclear. Stay when it's uncomfortable. Stay when it feels like nothing is happening. Because sometimes the most powerful progress in your life is happening in silence. Stay one more day, one more attempt. One more act of refusing to let the story end here. Because the truth is simple. You don't need a completely new path. You don't need a completely new dream. You might just need a little more time. The breakthrough is closer than you think. Before you go, carry this with you today. It always seems impossible until it is done. And remember this, the people who reach the top are not always the most talented. They are the ones who stayed when staying no longer made sense. Until next time, keep ascending.
Please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. We can grow together.